another instance to where someone tried to take advantage of, not really try to take advantage of me, but they didn't know my worth and I knew my worth. And because I was able to properly assess that, I was able to demand or get out what I wanted to get out. So when I first got out of the military, I decided to go to school. I went to community college, then the 4 year route. I went to community college in San Diego. Then I went to St. John's for 2 years. So when I first got to the community college in San Diego, I had an education plan. I arrived in the fall of 2014. That education plan said that I wasn't going to graduate until the spring of 2017. And during the spring of 2017, I was in my second semester at St. John's. How I properly assess my worth in that situation is, for one, the counselor didn't care about me. It was just, they were just doing their job. Someone come in, they have a certain major. This is the path that you usually take to graduate, and that was that. Like, I didn't have any personal conversation with that counselor. The counselor didn't ask me, what I had planned for my life. It was literally just, this is another person. We're gonna check off this list and we're gonna go. Me knowing my worth, this goes back to the basketball. I know my work ethic. If I have my mind set on something to do something, I'm gonna do it. And what really fueled me up in that instance was fear. I knew a lot of people back home who went the community college route and stayed in community college for 4 or 5 years, or just didn't finish community college. I'm not using this time to talk bad about community college. Me personally, if my schooling wasn't paid for, I would have stayed at community college as long as I could to gain as many credits as I could, and then went on to a 4 year just to alleviate having to take out loans and things to get when I got to a 4 year. But some people, they go to community college route and they stay there for however long and just never leave. But that was my fear. I didn't want to be like those people, and I knew that I wasn't an average person. And so once I got the education plan, I said, this is not like this, like, I'm not going to be in this community college for 3 years. It just makes no sense, and it doesn't align with what I have set for myself. So what I did, this education plan was set up by semesters. Like, it would say, take these courses this semester, take these courses this semester, take these courses this semester. What I was doing is I was bringing up classes every semester. So that first semester on the education plan, I was only set to take 4 courses. I would bring up a course or two from the next course to come up, so that, I was expediting the process. So this course, this semester, I originally have 4. I'm bringing up 1 or 2 courses from this semester. So now I have 5 or 6 in this semester. And then the next semester, I only have 2. So now I'm bringing up 2 or 3 more from the semester after that, and so on and so on. And this process, and the reason why I was able to do that is because I knew that, this education plan was set out for someone who's average. I'm not an average person. If I have my mind set to something, I know that I can achieve it. All I got to do is work hard and figure out how to get it done. And that's what I did. And that's why I went through the process that I went through, because I had no intentions of being an average community student or staying there longer than I need to. I ended up graduating the summer of 2016. I guess you can say fall 2016, because I walked in the summer, but I still had a course to take in the fall. But for the most part, I spent 2 years there as I had originally planned. Then I went on to St. John's. Went on to St. John's and walked into the same situation. I had 2 counselors at St. John's. The first counselor, I don't remember who that counselor was, but it was kind of like similar to what I experienced in the San Diego Community College. And then my second counselor was a woman. I wish I remember her name. I just remember it started with a P. And she heard what I wanted for myself, and she was aligned with that. So my first counselor, when I got to St. John's in January 2017, had me on an education plan to where I wasn't supposed to graduate until May 2020, I think. So think about that. I wasn't supposed to graduate in May 2020. Coronavirus came around early 2020. So I probably wouldn't have graduated until sometime last year, if I'm being honest with myself, just because of how life happens and with that education plan that was set for me. But I ended up graduating a year earlier. The reason why I graduated a year earlier is because once I got the new counselor, I told them, like, hey, this was set out for me, but I have no reason to be here for this long. Like, it shouldn't take me this long to, attain this degree. And she heard me. She heard my demands, and she figured out a way to expedite the process. The first thing she did was found credits in my community college that the previous counselor somehow missed. And so that helped me out. But 2, she introduced me to another process that I was familiar with in the military, but I had never taken. So free game to all my young people in college. Ask your counselors about CLEPS and Dantes. Ask your counselors about CLEPS and Dantes. I knew what CLEPS and Dantes was because they are what I'm trying to say. They are something that a lot of military people they are popular in the military, I should say, because people in the military work so many hours, but they also want to get schooling done, and so they lean on CLEPS and Dantes. What CLEPS and Dantes are tests that are equivalent to taking a semester course. So essentially, what it is you sign up for a test that is specific to a certain course, and if you pass the test, you get credits for that course. And so she introduced me to CLEPS and Dantes that I needed to take that would expedite my process to get my degree. And so I took some CLEPS. I told her what I wanted. This was me again assessing my worth, knowing that the previous education plan that was set out for me was for the average student. I'm not an average student. I came here to New York with a plan, and I plan to see that through. And in order for me to see that through, I have to get school done as soon as possible. I don't want to be here in this expensive city for way longer than I need to be. And she heard that. And so that's why she introduced those things to me. And so I knew that once I, assess my worth, or properly assess my worth, I should say, we came to an agreement to expedite that. And so she brung up the credits from the community college that was somehow the first counselor missed. And then I took the CLEPS and I passed them. And so now here I am graduating a year earlier than what was set out for me. This is me realizing my worth, realizing my potential, realizing what I'm able to do and able to accomplish, and keying in on owning in on my strengths.